welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi, Batra, and with me somebody very, very special today. And you know him as the most vivacious, the most entertaining celebrity chef in India. Chef Harpal Singh Sokhi is with me, and we are here at his restaurant, Karigari. Welcome, Chef, and thank you so much for taking the time out for Business Today TV.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. I'm so thrilled to have you here in my restaurant. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely, the pleasure is ours, and you're donning the entrepreneurial hat with these restaurant chains. So we want to know everything about it, from a celebrity chef to your journey as an entrepreneur. How did it begin?
So, when we got the chance to do television and we started getting recognized by people, so we realized that yes, a brand is slowly being built, and there is a marketing tool that we are getting in the form of television and now in the form of social media. And as you start getting recognized, there are entrepreneurs who want to enter the skills of want to enter the journey of owning restaurants or creating restaurants with us. So incidentally, it happened quite early for us, and we started doing this some time back, about say 10-12 years back. And during this period, we opened a couple of restaurant concepts. We exited out of those restaurants, and then we started learning, okay, you can enter and you can exit, okay, at a fair value. So those terminologies of business, creating, concepts and exiting and all that started happening. So we realized that while all this is happening, what is the core of the entrepreneurial journey? So the core was like the creating an IP for us. Our core remains still the kitchen, but the IP became the major core. And it's actually tough, Sakshi, I'll tell you, because for a chef to become an entrepreneur, it's very, very difficult because he is a passionate person, and for him, he holds everything very close to the heart. While it's the other way around, you actually need to hold the customer right in the center and then revolve everything around him. And that journey is a little tough one for all the chefs.
That's very true. So, you've also gone through a very tough period of COVID-19 during the initial years of being an entrepreneur. What were the lessons learned? How was this period pan out for you? And post-COVID, then what are the kind of innovations that you're doing now?
Actually, it's been very tough for the hospitality industry, I would say, entire hospitality industry. Because when you are in the core of hospitality industry, in hardcore hospitality industry, you actually do not get so much time to think out of the box, because you are involved so much into your day-to-day activities that you don't start learning new skill sets. We were lucky that we were out of the core of hospitality and we were managing our IP and yet being in the hospitality industry. So we were creating, hobby skills way ahead of a lot of people. And those hobby skills helped us during COVID. And they kept our journey of entrepreneurship alive. And we were one of those really lucky chefs, I would say. So it's very important that in today's world, I would say, for all the hospitality people, while you are having your passion, your core, which is what you are holding to your heart, do not forget to open your eyes and develop new skill sets, which will be your, I would say, passive income products. And that's very, very important today.
That's very true. I don't know, very interestingly, just before this interview started, you were telling me about that, how you're excited about this new and emerging technologies of artificial intelligence, machine learning, even virtual reality and metaverse and all of that. How do you see, in the future, collaborating, integrating with these kind of technologies in your own world?
So we're very fortunate that while you build a brand around yourself, okay, you build a face value yourself, so you can create new technologies around it. So I know for sure that my whole genre is happy, I would say approachable, all those little words which create connectivity with people, and people right from the age group of 2.5 years old to about 95 years old. So you can create games, you can create virtual kitchens where people can cook, or virtual studios, people can cook with us. So there are many things that revolve around us, and I'm working around them in the space of metaverse. I'm working around them. For restaurants, yes, it is a new thing. But like I said, while we were discussing, I said there's so much that can happen that the person through an artificial intelligence app can check how busy the restaurant is.
Yes.
Okay, while he is driving, that much time if he covers, will the restaurant give me that space, or he would know in advance, like what kind of a dish it would be, and he could see the entire process of the recipe through Metaverse. That this is what he's created. So these little things is what is the thought right now. But is anybody working around it? I don't think so. Anybody is working around it. While we are speaking, I'm sure this would happen. Back in the kitchen also, like we were discussing, I was saying that for fridge companies, they could tell us what's inventory inside the kitchen. Right now we manage logbooks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it could be a happy situation for a professional chef to actually feed in that this is what I have kept inside the fridge. These many numbers of orders have gone, and this is what is left.
Yeah.
And that should be there on the screen in a fridge, so that the chef knows ordering is picked up immediately. So these are new age things, and these all are happening right now as I'm talking to you.
Yes.
In my mind. And I think through this medium that I'm speaking,
Yeah.
probably people will catch up when they hear this interview up, and they will think that there's some intelligent talk that has happened between me and Sakshi that needs to go to the market.
Definitely ideas for all the upcoming entrepreneurs to work in this technology space and bring up all these innovations for the restaurant businesses as well. But like you talked about, you have Karigari, which is a fine dine restaurant, and you have, flurry of recipes starting from your mother, and all of these are, being prepared here. But tell us about more expansion plans. You have one restaurant in Noida, you have, one plan in Gurgaon as well. Where are the other, restaurants plans now?
Correct. So as we opened this in COVID times, we were lucky that, and we were bold enough to take decisions of locking places up.
Yeah.
And early time, we were thinking that, okay, let's create this restaurant, and we saw success with this restaurant. During that period of that COVID fear, which was still there, was the time we said that, okay, we are seeing little bit success, let's lock places.
Yeah.
And we said that, okay, let's put into the expansion spree in this. We've kept focusing on our core, which was this project and this restaurant.
Yeah.
And at the same time, success that was seen helped us build up new places. And we kept locking new places. So we have about 9 to 10 of them opening this year, Sakshi. And we are looking about, in the next 12 to 15 months, we are looking at least 10 operational completely. And then maybe 24 months is what we are saying, that we should have at least 20 of them. By then we would have mastered the expertise of opening a super specialty experience center with a team of people. Our team would be bigger, so we could send various people to various locations to open up things.
So these 20 restaurants, where all are you planning in geographies? Which
So right now Delhi is seeing about 5-6 of them. We are seeing in Delhi, in Gurgaon, in Noida, sector 142. We are looking at civil lines, we are looking at Faridabad, Batra Chowk.
Delhi largely
Yes.
centric.
And then we see that Delhi still can, absorb Delhi can still absorb 3 more restaurants, like maybe CP, West Delhi, and one more in some location. And then new locations that we are looking at is Dehradun. Yes, the work is going on in Dehradun. Bangalore is happening. So from here we'll shift to the next mega city, Bombay, which is where I reside. So then probably Bombay, we are already looking at a place in Phoenix Mill. And then Bombay will take about 5-6 restaurants. So that's how the expansion will happen. And then in smaller mega cities, maybe Jaipur, maybe Chandigarh.
Yeah. So beyond the fine dine also, you're planning to look at some other genres of restaurants?
So, if you have to scale the business up, the investors' excitement is how many you can open, how automation can come into this place, and how much, I would say, how much more you can reach out to customers to build business. That's what the excitement for the investor would be in time to come. So we are looking at, taking out the takeout business from this restaurant itself. So we are planning that we will focus at takeaway from this business in a little deeper manner, so that creates more space and more orders for us and more customer engagement for us. So that's what we are looking at this. But other than this restaurant, yes, I am opening and getting into small restaurant space also, because we are looking at roadways getting bigger and better in India. We are seeing a lot of potential that will happen in roadways in the form of strip malls, in the form of food courts, and we are entering that to begin with in Punjab and Chandigarh and in North India and various places. We have already locked a lot of locations, and we should be opening the first few centers from 23 onwards. And by the end of 24, we should have about 7 or 8 of these centers, and each center would have at least 4 to 6 concepts. So if you look at, I mean, in the next 18 months, if you look at 7 centers, so we're looking at about 40 odd outlets in the small format restaurant.
Very interesting. Also, what are the kind of investments that you have planned for these expansion plans? Who are your investors and the kind of money that you're putting in?
So right now with Karigiri, we have a set of investors, a young team of investors, Yogesh ji, Priyakant ji and Manish ji. They already run a couple of their own lounge bars, and the first one opened through their own internal accruals. The second one and a few of the other restaurants will also open through internal accruals itself, because we don't want to dilute right now. We want to build the books of accounts, and we're looking at 10 restaurants with internal accruals before we reach out to people and say that, okay, let's look at a little bit of dilution there, because we don't want to give away the management bit of it to people,
Okay, all right. And, beyond the investments, what are the growth targets like, the revenue projections that you may have with all of this?
So we're looking at 10 restaurants when we finally have by the end of this year. We're looking at a turnover of anywhere between 75 crores to 100 crores in the books of account. And these are physical turnovers of the restaurant. And from there onwards, internal accruals will help us build the next 10 ones. We would also look at getting into the franchise mode of it, where we would probably involve franchisees, and we as franchisors probably will do the management bit of it. We will not leave that, because that's when these are experience centers, and these experience centers can be managed well by people who have built the brand, not by somebody else. So we're trying to keep that within us.
Yeah. You know what, celebrity chefs are also getting into a lot of interesting spaces, like, cookware, for example, the electronics as well. Are you also looking at that space?
So, you asked me this question earlier, what was your journey from a chef to an entrepreneur?
Yes.
I would say the learning was little, I paid a cost of learning. So, I have a brand called Happy Chef in cookware. And I paid a price for learning there, because I was involved there. I first had to understand the business. During that business, there were inventories piling up, and those inventories pinched me a lot, and I'm paying a price for it right now. But let me tell you, right now at this point of time, I understand that if I have to enter again into the cookware business, which means you need to have little deeper pockets and a good sense of distribution, or a company which has good distribution. Because somebody can manufacture for me, I can be the face, but if you don't have a distribution network, it doesn't work. Today's date, you need to have a distribution network. At the same time, you need to be digitally present. You need to you need to get into the e-commerce segment also. So I paid a price there for learning, but I think I will revive back my Happy Chef thing, because it's really a happy thing for me.
That's interesting as well. So we will wait to see all of that also come about from you. If you could share with all our viewers, many of whom are young, aspiring entrepreneurs, what are the secret tips that you would want to share, or the success tips of being a successful entrepreneur in the restaurant business? Many of youngsters really think of entering this kind of business. What is the tip to become successful in this already very, very crowded space?
So absolutely, it's a very crowded space right now. Sitting in Delhi, I would see that every other day I see a new lounge bar opening, and in a lounge bar the space for creativity is very less, because food plays a lot major role, but not so much in a lounge bar. For in a restaurant, it plays the maximum role. When you think of creating a restaurant for yourself, first you understand the market, what is the need of the market, you understand the geography, you understand the demographics of people, and then you think that what is that is missing there, and create a product which speaks for itself. So the product has to be top of the line. It cannot be anything mediocre. It cannot be the same kind of product which is matching with people. Otherwise, you're not going to have numbers there, and that is very important. Even when we created Karigiri, we said that okay, there are many restaurants. So what's the USP of the restaurant that we have? So 1 year, almost I would say 8 months, went into designing and doing the menu of Karigiri. And we did not say that, we still don't say that my restaurant is North Indian restaurant. No, my restaurant is a storytelling restaurant which has stories of each dish which we dedicate to people, my mother, my journey, many legacy chefs, many legacy restaurants. There are street side products that I've had. I have dedicated these recipes to them. They are there in my menu with their name. And fortunately, when people come dining here, Sakshi, they can relate. Ah, yes, I had this.
Yes.
You know, and then they're so happy that okay, there's somebody who is doing this. I yet say that okay, the flavor is Indian with an essence of North India, but it is all about stories of food.
That's wonderful to hear. But Chef, we are a business channel and we would want to know, how top of business and for money management are you also? So I wanted to ask you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. So the first question is, what was your first salary?
So my first salary was 800 rupees when I was a trainee cook in Oberoi's.
Okay. What did you do with your first paycheck and how much was it?
So 800 rupees like I mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first thing I went to the market and I bought a cookery book and a pair of shoes.
Wow. How important is money in your life?
Oh, I think if you have money, you start thinking better, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot say that, I will meditate and then money will come.
Okay. Would you rather have more money or more time?
So, more money will give me more time also. I clearly believe this.
Okay. What would you be if not a chef?
So, my first dream, Sakshi, was to become a fighter pilot. Oh. If somebody still offers me that, I will go run.
Okay. How do you unwind after a busy day?
Okay. So, after a busy day, it's watching television, watching food channels.
Okay.
Or getting into another restaurant aspect, understanding what's happening in the world. Yeah. Or if it is morning, then it is jogging, which is very important. Yeah. And a good night's sleep. I'm very particular that I have 7 hours of sleep. Okay. Come what may. However busy I am, 7 hours of sleep, that's a must.
That's not compromised at all. Okay. What is your dream investment?
Oh, so a dream investment is actually to have a great farm, in between with a lot of farmers around, understanding how farming happens, how sustainability happens, and having a kitchen there where I shoot along with the farmers. And I have started building this project for myself.
Oh, that's interesting. Would you rather invest in a fixed deposit, in gold, or in stock markets?
So it's actually you should invest partly in everything. So
or
that
in a restaurant.
Yes, if you like to take the risk, you invest in a restaurant with me.
Yeah, but are you a conservative investor or are you a risk-taking investor?
So I take great risks, Sakshi. I tell you, I do things and I blindly do things.
Okay.
Many a times, I would say.
Okay. What is that one quality of yours that all the youngsters should look to imbibe?
So I think a few qualities of mine that I have is passion, hard work, learning, gratitude, and team player. I'm a great team player. I know that I can cook well, but I also know that without a team, I'm nothing.
Okay, which is your own favorite dish?
So I have mirchi ka halwa in my restaurant, which is the best seller and which is what has created Karigiri, I would say.
Okay, mirchi ka halwa, that's unheard of. Yes. Because halwa is usually associated with sweets. Do you have a more sweet or a salty palate?
Okay, that's a balanced one actually, I would say.
Okay. What is the biggest money lesson perhaps that you have got from your parents or from somebody who you idolize as for your money tales, and what do you impart to your children?
So I would give this in the most basic and crude way of learning that I said. Somebody said to me that Harpal, you should have enough savings in your bank which should be equivalent to 3 years of your earnings, okay, in some format or the other, so that when you want to take a sabbatical for some reason for a year, you are free with it. So that kind of learning is very important for people. I think my parents taught me that whatever salary you get, at least 20% should be saved in some format or the other, which I religiously do. 10% should go in some kind of gratitude work which you need to do, which I religiously do, and the rest is spent amongst managing the family or the business or whatever it is.
Okay, so what is the easiest form of money that you handle? Is it cash? Is it digital money, UPI? Do you use credit or debit cards?
So today's date, I don't think so. I have seen too many of notes in my pocket. It's all in the phone. So that ease which India and this government has bought is amazing. I mean, so you don't need to be bothered about taking money as cash in your purse. You have access to digital money everywhere. You know.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Chef
you.
Harpal, for being with us, and it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.